You're listening to the Telltale Channel. In this podcast,
Steven Anderson's kids expose how terribly he is to them. Apparently it's getting to him because he was supposedly checked into a mental institution recently. He had a substitute pastor and everything. Let's talk about what's going on with him. Pastor Joel Webbon tells a black man that he wouldn't trust a black doctor. To his face. This guy's gonna say it to the wrong person one day. Oklahoma School Superintendent Ryan Walters ordered teachers to teach from the Bible in classrooms. All of them, even the math teachers. He laid out the requirements for what the Bible should look like, and wouldn't you know it, the only Bible that fits the description is the Trump Bible. How about that? Anyway, he's facing serious calls for impeachment over some fraudulent behavior and impropriety. Let's talk about what he's up to.
if you like what I do and you want to see me continue to do it, don't forget to check out my Patreon. Also, take a look at my website, owenmorgan.com. I'm selling my book, Understanding Jehovah's Witnesses, 400 pages, and my second book, 100 Questions for Jehovah's Witnesses, which is about 80 pages. And you can find them both there on the website. Audio form, ebook form, whatever. It's about my experiences within the religion and the history of the religion generally.
This is Ryan Walters. If you don't know him, he's the superintendent of Oklahoma schools, and he effectively passed a rule or a regulation or whatever you call it, requiring teachers to teach from the Bible as a classroom material. They should be teaching from the Bible, every teacher, and every single teacher, math, science, all of them should have a Bible in the classroom provided by the state so that they can teach from it in math class. I'm not even joking. If this is going to be shot down when it eventually makes it to the Supreme Court, certainly, there is no interpretation of the Constitution in which this would work in any way. Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Something like that. You cannot legislate religion or favor one religion over another. You can't do that. So anyway, while he's trying to do this, he decides to go all the way, and he pushes through a new rule and a request for funding to get the Bibles that he wants. Now, the rule that he wrote is that the Bibles have to be very, very specific types of Bibles. And wouldn't you know it, the only Bible that fits his criteria is the Trump Bible. Has to be leather bound. Why? Got me. Leather bound, has to have a copy of the Constitution in the front, and it has to be these certain books, and it has to have these other documents. I mean, it's so obvious what he's doing. Not only is he favoring religion, he's using the government to favor one political candidate over another. He should be nowhere near office. In Greek days, they used to have, early in democracy, you used to have this thing where every year the people would get together and they would vote somebody out of office, basically, and ban them from politics in perpetuity. They're no longer allowed to participate in politics to any degree at all, ever. And they have to move to another island or something, because we don't want to hear your stupid all the time. I don't remember what that's called now, but we need to adopt that for real. You know what? You want to ban Bernie Sanders from being in politics? Fine. If we can get rid of Donald Trump and this guy right here, okay, I'll take it. Whatever. We need to start banning people from running for office like that. Start voting them into exile. Anyway, let's read this article by Hemant Mehta on the Friendly Atheist website. All right, this is Hemant Mehta from the Friendly Atheist website. I won't rehash everything, but the gist of the story was that his office had released a formal request for publishers to bid on providing the books to school districts across the state. In theory, the publisher who says it can do the job for the least amount of money would get the contract. The problem with the request for proposal, RFP, was that all the requirements describe the $59.99 plus shipping Trump Bible just perfectly, while effectively shutting out all the competition. Isn't that something? What are the chances it would be the Trump? What are the chances that a Bible would fit it so perfectly, those requirements? All right, here's the RFP, the request for proposal. The bid response shall show the ability of the bidder to meet or exceed the following mandatory specifications. The supplier must provide 55,000 Bibles with shipping included to each school district and with a 2-week delivery time after contract award date. Wow, that's actually really fast. Okay. The supplier must provide only the King James Version of the Bible for historical accuracy and contain both the Old and New Testaments. King James is not historically accurate. If you want a historically accurate Bible, use the NRSV. That is the Bible chosen by scholars. Why does he think King James is the best? Either way, he's legislating religion right now. This is explicitly against the U.S. Constitution. And as a state, the Constitution applies to him and what he's doing as a representative of a state. The supplier's Bible must include copies of the U.S. Pledge of Allegiance. Why? The U.S. Declaration of Independence, the U.S. Constitution, and the U.S. Bill of Rights. Again, why? Don't you have other books for that? Like, why would a math teacher need those things in math class? Hell, why would a history teacher need those things in the Bible? They have those things hanging on the walls in most history classes, right? I mean, I guess if they're talking about that specific subject, some grades, they talk about like World War II, and other grades, they talk about the Civil War and the Revolutionary War, right? The supplier's Bible must not contain study guides, publisher narration, or additional commentary. So no, like, wow, dude. So no footnotes then. Does that include footnotes? The supplier's Bible must be bound in leather or leather-like material for durability. He is so full of... He knows what he's doing. He's doing it intentionally. Colossal scumbag. Again, he's facing calls for impeachment right now, credible ones. You know, people just say that all the time. No, this is real because he's basically defrauding people. He's refusing to supply funding to schools that was given to these schools to increase security to prevent like school attacks. So this money was provided by the federal system. I think the federal government provided money, and it was a certain amount over the course of like a few years, like 5 years or something. And they get like, I don't know, $500,000 a year or something like that. I don't remember. And it's supposed to go toward paying security guards or installing expensive equipment like metal detectors or whatever. Some schools in Oklahoma chose to save that money up and let it roll over to the next year so that they can buy something really expensive, like a complex alarm system and doors that automatically lock when a panic button's hit and that kind of thing, you know. So it's been a couple of years now, and the schools are ready to use that money on really expensive security equipment to protect the children. And Ryan Walters here is refusing to give them the money now. That's not his money. That was the federal government giving the money to the states, to the schools specifically. He has no place to hold up this money, but he's doing it anyway. That's defrauding them. That's not doing his job. So that's like a serious violation of his office or whatever, of his public position. And I hope that he does get impeached. And on top of that, I really hope that we adopt that thing that the Greeks used to do where they ban people from being in politics who are destructive sects. But I'm not holding my breath on that one. Let's keep reading here. That's because Walter said he needed 55,000 Bibles within 2 weeks, which basically meant the books had to be printed and ready to go. Right. That means they're not printing them on the spot, like as they go. It means they're already printed. So he's saying, I'm looking for something that's already out there and for sale. They also needed to include the Pledge of Allegiance, Declaration of Independence, U.S. Constitution, Bill of Rights, all of which were already included in the already printed Trump Bibles. And for some reason, those books had to be bound in leather or something similar for the sake of durability. When reporters at Oklahoma Watch asked one of the largest Christian booksellers in the country if they carried anything matching what Walters wanted, the response was an unequivocal no. A salesperson at Mardell Christian and Education searched, and though they carry 2,900 different Bibles, 2,900 different Bibles, none of them fit the parameters. What is wrong with this guy? Oklahoma is, I think, 49th in education. Students are coming out of school illiterate. And what's he doing? Buying Trump Bibles, supporting the Trump campaign with state money, with Oklahoma state money is what he's doing. He needs to be fired. This is an egregious breach of public trust. Disgusting breach of public trust. It was clear Walters just wanted to give Trump whatever share of money he'd get from the state of Oklahoma buying his Bibles. It was so egregious. Wow, I don't hear that word very often, and Hemant Mehta used it at the same time as me. It was so egregious a grift that even a former Oklahoma attorney general said the request for proposals might violate state law. No sh- The backlash was fierce enough that it warranted national headlines. Good. It's good. I hope it did. Which ones? Washington Post. Oh, wow. Okay. Really? Please leave me alone. I just want to... Oklahoma buying schools 55,000 Bibles. Specs match the $60 Trump Bible. Wow. Interesting. Sure enough, it's getting some national attention. Intelligencer? I don't know this one. Oklahoma wants a Trump Bible in every public school classroom. Wow. Walter's Bible specs aren't that surprising. Conservative evangelicals typically prefer King James Version or one of its derivative texts on the grounds that it sticks most closely to a literal interpretation of the original Hebrew and Greek. But it doesn't. It doesn't. That's a mistaken belief. Whatever. Anyway, let's keep reading here. Walters loves attention, but even Christians appeared to be balking at this proposal. It was bad enough that the guy wanted to purchase Bibles for school, but using tax dollars to buy the Trump Bible for every classroom, there was nothing subtle about the Christian nationalism ploy. So on Monday, the request for proposal was amended. First, the new deadline for applications was extended by 1 week to October 21st, giving publishers a total of 3 weeks to apply. Wow, that's nice of them, huh? That still falls short of the traditional 4 weeks you'd see with similar proposals. The short window only makes sense if you're waiting for one company to send in a bid proposal. Simply put, publishers who are starting from scratch don't have enough time to assess costs, submit an application, and get to work. This is little more than window dressing, a way to suggest other publishers can apply without giving them the actual time they need to do so. The bigger change is that the additional documents, like the U.S. Constitution, are no longer mandatory inside the books. But that, too, isn't really a change because of how it's worded in the amended RFP. Okay, here's the amended one. The supplier must also provide copies of the U.S. Pledge of Allegiance, the U.S. Declaration of Independence, and the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights. These can be bound together or separately. Okay, so those things are just like, you have to, that's part of the order, I guess. You don't have to have it in the Bible physically. Interesting. All right. Well, why would he include those in the order then? Can he get those by other means using other state funds for other things like textbooks? And aren't those already in the textbooks? Why is he doing that? And why would a math teacher need that? I don't understand. Why would a math teacher need a copy of the U.S. Bill of Rights at all? Like, why would she need that? The students might need copies of that, but why the teacher? That's who he's buying for, the teacher. I keep forgetting that. The supplier's Bible must not contain study guides, publisher narration, or additional commentary. Okay? The supplier's Bible must be bound in leather or leather-like material for durability. The additional documents listed in 2.5, which is the Constitution, Bill of Rights and stuff, must also be bound in durable material. That doesn't fix anything. That doesn't make it better. He's very obviously setting it up for Donald Trump to take the bid. This guy is just disgusting. He's just a terrible superintendent, an awful person. What is wrong with him? What is going through his head? You know, like, he was very clearly brainwashed, right, by Donald Trump and his whole movement or whatever. But why has he become such a colossal scumbag? That doesn't explain why he's a scumbag, right? Like Steven Anderson, for example. He is a far-right nutcase, and I totally disagree with him on everything. Like, hitting your wife and kids, you know, that's what Steven Anderson's up to right now. I disagree with him. I don't think you should do that, right? But it's not just a belief thing. It's also a tactics thing. Steven Anderson doesn't just believe that you should, you know, hit your family or whatever. He also uses dirty, underhanded means of hurting other people, like lying about them intentionally and knowingly, or doxing his family members. He did that not too long ago to his daughter Miriam and his brother. You know, this stuff is unacceptable. I don't care which side you're on. I'm not for that. I won't accept you. I will never work with you if you would do something as low as like doxing your daughter and brother, or like brazenly lying to my face. I don't care if you are Kamala Harris. I won't support somebody doing that. I won't support a scumbag, is my point. Now, Ryan Walters is not just a right-wing ideologue. He has also adopted the scumbag persona. Like, he's proud of being a scumbag. He likes the fact that people view him that way, and he wants to be viewed that way more because he knows it gets him attention, and he can take advantage of people with no repercussions because the moral expectations on him are down here. There are none. He can't do anything that would turn people against him any more than they already are. It's like Trump said, he could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and he wouldn't lose a vote. That's because everybody already knows how much of a colossal scumbag he is. There's literally nothing that he could do that would disgust people even more. Calls for genocide directly. Put the Mexicans in a concentration camp and deal with it like Germany did. I would be willing to bet that Trump could say that and not lose many votes, if any. The people that are there for good because they believe in him. With Ryan Walters, it's the same thing. There's literally nothing that he could do moving further to the right that would lose him support. To lose support, Ryan Walters or Donald Trump would have to move to the left, like come out as gay or trans or something. Anyway, these people are just terrible. I don't know why we've found ourselves in a culture where these types of tactics, not beliefs, tactics, are acceptable. This is wrong. Tell what you think about it in the comments. These people are terrible.
Next up,
Steven Anderson's kids exposed how terribly he is to them. Apparently it's getting to him because he was supposedly checked into a mental institution recently. He had a substitute pastor and everything. Let's talk about what's going on with him.
we'll be right back. Don't forget to check out my Patreon. Also, take a look at my website, owenmorgan.com. I'm selling my book, Understanding Jehovah's Witnesses, 400 pages, and my second book, 100 Questions for Jehovah's Witnesses, which is about 80 pages. And you can find them both there on the website. Audio form, ebook form, whatever. It's about my experiences within the religion and the history of the religion generally.
Steven Anderson, as many people probably know by now, was just exposed for, hurting his children, for, God, I don't know how to say this in a more friendly way. He was hurting them, basically. His kids came out and gave an interview to Dead Domain, YouTuber, I believe. And they explained what it was like growing up with him. And, of course, it was violent and ugly and terrible. I mean, the dude is a violent, ugly, terrible person. If you don't know him, he's the leader of the NIFB, the New Independent Fundamental Baptist Church. It's this whole movement with a bunch of churches under it. And they're extremists. He's prayed for Obama's death. He says, I hate Barack Obama. I mean, it's real crazy stuff. And of course, he doesn't like gay people either. Big surprise. Anyway, he responded. He responded to his children, whatever. Listen to what he said here.
My accusers teamed up with a literal Satan-worshiping transvestite.
Okay, I didn't remember if I censored. I did. I censored. Okay.
Satan-worshiping transvestite. Okay, and you know what? We could pretty much almost just close our Bibles and go home right now. Okay? Because
what, you don't want to learn about Jesus?
anybody with a brain in their head knows that you don't go to Satan to tell the truth. You go to Satan because you want to tell lies.
Well, I mean, Satan's got a platform, right? If Satan's got a platform, I'll tell the truth from it. This guy's so full of
Okay?
So is he denying this then? That he attacks his kids or whatever? With an electrical cord? That's how they described it?
The guy is in drag. He is a man dressed up as a woman.
I think Dead Domain. I believe the name is Jordan, and they're non-binary.
The video that all these Christians are promoting this week and sending around all over the internet, literally you click on it, the first thing you're going to see is a man in makeup in a flowery dress with a Satan symbol. But isn't it interesting that all three of them, they all went to a transvestite open faggot.
Oh my God, dude. What is wrong with him? Why is he like this? Why is he so vile? All the time, he is vile.
Reprobate. And you know why? Because God is showing people who's telling the truth and who's lying. That's why. Anybody who actually loves the Lord and loves the truth can easily figure out the truth because God in his providence worked it out where my enemies were too stupid to actually attack me in a way that could even be seen as legitimate, but they all went straight to literal Satan so that everybody who actually cares about the truth and what the Bible says will know that they're lying because Satan is the father of lies. Look at first.
Yeah, except it wasn't an illegitimate criticism. It is exactly the kind of thing that he would do, and it's believed by like everybody, obviously, because there are multiple people coming out and explaining what he did, and they're all like in sync with each other. The stories match up and everything. And as a matter of fact, stories don't just match up with each other. They match up with what Steven Anderson has said. Again, like the reason I'm covering this because he's in a mental institution right now, to my knowledge. I'll talk about that in just a second, but.
And I don't think that yelling at your kids is an effective form of discipline.
This one is late February 2023.
I'm not saying it's wrong to ever yell as a parent because I think there are some times when yelling could be appropriate, but that shouldn't be a regular basis. Just your go-to discipline is yelling, right? Less yelling, more spanking is what we need in our families, okay? Because then there's less anger and less yelling. You just spank, it's over, you move on. Well, I'm just going to ground them. I'm going to take away privileges. I'm going to yell at them. But what does the Bible say?
So anyway, yeah, the point is he has expressed to his audience that he hits his kids. Like, there's no surprise here. Why is he denying this? Anyway, like I said, he ended up in a mental institution, supposedly. This is Isaac Anderson, his son, the one of them who spoke out against him. And he says, I have it on good authority that my father was picked up yesterday afternoon and taken involuntarily to the psych ward. Next service is going to be insane, literally. Okay. Well, let's take a look at the next sermon, shall we? This is his substitute, I guess, this guy right here. I'm unfamiliar with him, actually.
Bless Pastor Anderson as he's having a good time with his family and,
good time.
Taking a much-deserved day off, dear Lord. And obviously, whatever we can do to make his life better, we ask you to reveal it to us so we can do it.
Yeah, it seems to me like he's in a mental institution. And you know what? I don't wish pain and suffering on anybody. Nobody. But my sympathy is like this much right now, realizing that he's in there for attacking his family with an electrical cord. Like, you're looking to the wrong place for sympathy on this one. All right, check this out. This is from the sermon that night when he went, apparently.
And you guys aren't even going to church right now. You're staring at me right now.
I think he's talking to us, like the viewers.
So I'm just trying to help you out. You think you're hardcore, Isaac? Get up. 3:45 a.m. Read your Bible.
Oh, he's talking about Isaac Anderson.
Read your Bible. Buy yourself an elliptical. Get shredded because you're pretty chubby.
Why is he doing this? Why do they go after people's looks like that? Because you're pretty chubby. What does that have to do with anything at all? Why is he not, like, refuting the criticisms? Hell, why is he even addressing this right now? This is the kind of thing that disgusts me. Like, I don't care which side this guy is on. The tactics are wrong. If he was on the left, I would never work with him. I wouldn't want anything to do with this because he's a scumbag, left or right.
I'm trying to help you out. I'm trying to get you ripped, rich, and religious, buddy. Because that's what you want. You want to be ripped? You look like baby Hercules from the Eddie Murphy movie. Hercules, Hercules, Hercules. Google it. You'll see what I'm saying. Hercules, Hercules. That's who you are. But I know you want to be ripped. Hey, I want you to be rich.
Like, what is happening? What is he talking about? Why?
But rich towards God. And you're only going to get that by being right with God. Keep winning souls before you waste your life, your potential. And I want you to get religious. Because guess what? Religion is a good thing.
All right, well, for the record, I think Isaac Anderson still believes all the same stuff as his dad. He's still a fascist, effectively, and all kinds of crazy stuff. But he told the world about what his dad did. So this guy telling Isaac Anderson to get religious is rich. Isaac Anderson is religious. The only difference between Isaac Anderson and this guy right here is that Isaac Anderson is willing to criticize his dad. So is this guy saying that, like, criticizing Steven Anderson is a sin against God? Because that's what I'm picking up. Is that what he's putting down?
And that's what you're going to need. So I'm just doing this for you. I'm trying to help you out.
Yeah, right. By making fun of him, by calling him chubby and saying he looks like an idiot and all that. Yeah. Totally. Trying to help him. Absolutely.
But keep listening. I ain't done. Mark 9.
Wow, dude. Goes into a Bible verse. I'm not sure what he could have possibly pulled out of Mark 9 to apply to Isaac Anderson. Anyway, point is, some shit's going down right now with the NIFB. People are leaving in droves. This happened a while back too, where there were some text chats that released, and the text chats revealed, like, Isaac Anderson and a bunch of other people just saying some real messed up stuff. Generally, the atheists that I've listened to talk about it have said it was just some stupid kids acting like fools. When they become adults and no longer like minors, the things that they do from that point on is worth criticizing. So I think people have generally avoided those text messages or those group chats or whatever. But they just said, like, the N-word, and they talked about how they loved Hitler and things, and it seemed like they were just being edgy. It didn't seem like they weren't discussing a fully formed ideology around, like, National Socialism or something. It was just them being edgy. So anyway, when that went public, people dropped like flies from that congregation. I have recordings of a black family basically being kicked out of the congregation because they were unhappy with what Steven Anderson and Isaac Anderson said, and they wanted to get some kind of accountability or whatever, and Steven Anderson said, no, forget it, just get out, basically. Well, here we are again, watching people drop like flies. This is an NIFB preacher. His name is Salvador Alvarez? Yes, Salvador Alvarez is his name. Listen to what Alvarez says. I censored it, so it should be safe. You don't have to worry about hearing something really, like, messed up.
When it comes to this issue of suicide, there is a specific group of people that I think it's okay for them to kill suicide. Obviously, we all know, reprobates, LGBTQ, people who have already rejected God to the point where, no one's really mourning Judas's death.
No one's mourning Judas's death. This is what I'm talking about. I would never stand for this. This is depraved. What is wrong with somebody that thinks this stuff? How did they get there in their head? That's wild. That is insane. Okay, so this guy, Alvarez, he has left the NIFB. If you don't know the structure of the NIFB, generally it's like a conference, a church conference kind of, where they seed churches, but the pastors have full control over their own churches, basically. And they all look to Steven Anderson for their ideology and things like that. I think Steven Anderson, I don't think he gets like a cut of the donations or anything like that. But yeah, he very much influences the ideology of the group. So Alvarez ran his own church, I believe, and he's left the NIFB. Now his church is like a free church.
So first of all, as many of you may have seen, I have publicly broken fellowship with Pastor Jonathan Shelley, not because of any major doctrinal issues.
Shelley took over, I believe, Faithful Word Baptist Church, one of Steven Anderson's churches, or maybe he seeded another church. Anyway, he's just one of the NIFB pastors.
But because of a huge moral issue, specifically because he does not judge people for hitting children with electrical cords, and because he does not condemn men for doing spousal corporal punishment or spousal discipline.
Okay, that's one way to frame it. Spousal discipline? Spousal corporal punishment? You mean he hit his wife with an electrical cord is what you mean. Why is he saying corporal punishment? Do you mean like abusing his family members? I don't understand. Like, I can say that on YouTube and it's not a problem. Like, why is he watching his words right now? After saying all that stuff about the LGBT community, why is he watching his words. Is he trying to frame it positively? Why? It's not. There's nothing positive about it. Yeah, by the way, just one quick thing. I'm sorry. The electrical cord thing, there's no fundamental difference between hitting your kid with an electrical cord and paddling them. Like, when I was little, I got the paddle. It was this big piece of wood that had tape around the bottom of it to make like a makeshift handle, and my dad would grab it and, wail on people. That's no different than an electrical cord. It still strikes the same fear in your heart that something's going to happen, that you don't know if you're coming out of this or if you'll come out of it with a black and blue eye or what. So spanking your kids, paddling your kids, same effect. Steven Anderson earlier was talking about we need to just paddle our kids and move on, except instead of grounding people or whatever, except grounding scientifically fixes problems. It's more likely to help keep the kid guided down the right road. Hitting the kid makes them try harder to hide things, and it teaches them that violence is the answer in some cases. It's not. So if you want to solve a problem, grounding them, removing privileges of various sorts, or taking a toy away when they're little, that works. Way better than hitting them. Way better.
And when Miriam gave her interview on September 26, I saw Pastor Anderson's reaction of doxing his own family members, and I immediately realized
Holy shit, dude, I didn't know about that.
that he was not blameless in this situation. And I plan to make a public statement to disassociate myself and Pure Words Baptist Church from Pastor Steven Anderson. And I was surprised to see Pastor Shelley's email and Facebook post on Monday where he was defending Pastor Anderson.
I looked for that. I could not find it. I have no idea where it is, unfortunately. He was defending Steven Anderson. God, I wish I could get my hands on that. Anybody have any idea where that is? You guys want to see if you can find it in the chat and just let me know if somebody finds it? You don't have to if you don't feel like it, but it was a Facebook post from Jonathan Shelley of the NIFB. Probably posted, when did this clip release? Clips? Yeah, it was probably posted sometime around last week, maybe last Sunday. Let me know if someone finds it.
Facebook post on Monday where he was defending Pastor Anderson. And he admitted in the post that Pastor Steven Anderson hit his teenagers with electrical cords. And also in the post, he was accusing pastors who were standing against abuse, calling them virtue signalers.
I love it because, the right has always talked about virtue signaling and how the left is always virtue signaling and all that. Well, Steven Anderson has turned it around on his own people now, and they're starting to see how ridiculous it is. I love everything about it.
Tuesday night, Pastor Shelley had his Baptist Bias episode called Spiritual, and he titled it Spiritual Warfare. He showed clips of old movies where husbands are spanking their wives, and in none of those clips did it seem...
I'm sorry. Okay. That's such an odd thing to say. Why would you say that? Why would you do that? He's doing what?
Clips of old movies where husbands are spanking their wives, and in none of those clips did it seem that the wife was consenting at all. In almost all of them, the wives were shouting no or stop.
So Steven Anderson showed people clips of that? This guy is so f***ing weird. I'm sorry, man. It is so weird. Just looking through the chat here. Darvo, yes, absolutely. Deny, attack, reverse, victim, and offender. That's exactly what Steven Anderson has been doing. It's weird that pretty much every single, abusive person throughout history always uses this same tactic, Darvo. It's like, what? Did they go to a class for this or something? I don't understand. Got a metal dog leash and whatever they could grab. My dad got a switch, a little thin branch, basically, that he, that his grandmother whipped across his back. He worked on a farm. I never got a belt. It was always a paddle. And I remember one time they kept a paddle on the top of the fridge, So I just I walk over and I just kind of push it a little further back and it falls behind the fridge. And they were looking for that thing for hours. Oh my God, I avoided it that time. That's funny. Anyway, one time I was talking or something at the meeting. I was being obnoxious, being just annoying. I don't know what the hell was happening. And my mom said she's going to take the spoon to me when we get home, the wooden spoon. So I mean, this isn't exactly funny because it's so messed up, but looking back at it now, I guess I can laugh at my own misfortune in the moment. She tells me, "All right, go get changed into your normal clothes. I'm going to take the spoon to you." So I go into my bedroom and I'm changing, and it's winter, so I got this big heavy jacket on, and I start, I'm hanging up my suit, and while I'm doing that, I'm thinking to myself, I could go out there with this big heavy jacket on, and I wouldn't even feel it because she'd just be hitting the outside of the jacket, So I go out there, and I'm like, all right, let's do it, forgetting that I'd taken my pants off. So she lifts the coat and smacks my bare legs. It sucked, but yeah, not good actually, like really not good. It's on the Rumble channel, Steadfast Baptist Church. Is it? Steadfast Baptist. Let's see. Steadfast Baptist Church. Yeah. Steadfast Baptist, I believe, is Jonathan Shelley's. And Faithful Word Baptist Church is Steven Anderson's. Do you know which one it is? Oh my God, dude. Check out Salvador Alvarez, wildly inappropriate behavior with church funds. Wow, that's convenient, isn't it? So Alvarez releases this 2 days ago, and maybe the same day or the next day, Jonathan Shelley releases this video about Salvador Alvarez. God, they are cannibalizing each other right now. Oh my God, dude. This is great to watch. I love it. In all seriousness, this is like really messed up to hit your kids for real. Don't do that. Don't use a belt on your kids. Don't use a paddle. Don't use a wooden spoon. Don't do that. You're no different than Steven Anderson hitting him with an electrical cord. It's the exact same thing. Anyway, go big or go home. Is that it? Go big or go home?
Men, 2 Kings chapter 13. In this chapter, we see the end of the life of one of the greatest men of the Old Testament, which is Elisha the prophet.
I guess Steven Anderson talks about the whole thing on this video. If you guys want to see the whole video with me, I'll be watching this whole thing, and probably this other secretly filmed video. I have it here somewhere. Yeah, here, secretly filmed meeting on September 29th, full recording. I'll be watching that too on my Unfiltered channel. Yeah, I stream 10:30 to 2:30 Wednesday and Thursdays, but I upload the edited, cleaned up versions if you missed it. Once I had to write an apology on the whiteboard in class. I wrote FU on it, and they smacked my head against it. Jesus Christ. And pinned me down until I couldn't breathe. I hate them. Yeah, 100%. How did that get normalized? Why is that normalized? Jesus Christ. No more grace for railers? This is 4 days ago? All right, let's just take a look at the Salvador Alvarez one. Dude, he's got a beautiful camera. Oh, my God.
Hey, everybody, it's Pastor Jonathan Shelley from Steadfast Baptist Church. And I want to give an update about a situation that's transpired between me and Salvador Alvarez of Pure Words Baptist Church. Now, I've been in the process of transitioning this church.
You have? Oh, I'm so glad to hear that from your mouth.
I want to give an update.
God, if he knew that I said that, he would lose his shit.
Now, I've been in the process of transitioning.
That's so nice.
This church to him. And for some reason, he's just started attacking me.
Really? For some reason? You have no idea what could have possibly caused it. Are you really in the dark right now?
Lying about me, wanting to break fellowship, publicly broke fellowship with me over the fact that he just kept railing on me and didn't want to take accountability for it.
He didn't want to take accountability for what he did. Okay. What about Jonathan Shelley? Is he going to take accountability for defending Steven Anderson when he admitted to hitting his family? Like, what?
And in this process, he's just completely shown a whole new side of himself that I've never seen before. He's extremely prideful, unpredictable. He has scattered his church. Almost every person that I was aware in that church, at least the large percentage of the church, has left.
Dude, he knows this is bullshit, and he's saying it anyway. It's so crazy to listen to somebody brazenly lie to your face knowingly. I know he's lying. He knows he's lying. That is crazy, man.
They want him to resign. They don't agree with any of his actions whatsoever. However, even if that is the case,
if the church didn't agree with him, then they would leave and he would no longer have a church. See how simple that is? That's how it works. The church agrees with him by and large, or they would have all left and gone to Jonathan Shelley's.
church has left. They want him to resign. They don't agree with any of his actions whatsoever.
This is like what Trump does when he says, Joe Biden is so angry right now. He's so angry that they kicked him off of the presidential ballot and blah, blah, blah. He speaks for people. That is so infuriating.
However, even if that is the case, I was still in the process of transferring all the different things to him in this process. Because I was on all of the banking accounts and all the financial accounts, I had told him this process is going to take a while. And I told him that I'm going to have to resolve whatever credit lines we have because we have giant credit accounts. And so in this process, I've been...
Why does this church have giant credit accounts? What could they possibly be doing that would require giant credit accounts and stuff?
monitoring this to make sure to get everything properly transferred and closed. Well, because of his erratic behavior, I became very nervous about what he may do. And
he is so full of
and try to harm me, harm our credit accounts, try to damage our church in
How is he trying to harm your credit accounts? What?
some way. And so I've just made sure to get all of the accounts closed or transferred properly. Also, there was a message that was sent about rent that had not been paid due. And so I was trying to make sure that that was taken care of properly because I'm personally on the lease for Pure Words Baptist Church. The lease was to me
Oops, I didn't mean to hit pause. The lease was to him personally, okay?
personally. And so I'm trying to make sure that everything is done appropriately. When reviewing the account, however, I was looking through the checks to see if rent had been paid, and I noticed that there was a check written to Isaac Anderson for $1,000.
Bullshit. Oh my God. He's now spinning up this gigantic conspiracy where Isaac Anderson was paid to take down his dad. Come on, man. Really? Does anybody believe this? This is low. This is degenerate behavior right here. Pretending, lying about all of this stuff and destroying a dude's reputation. Honestly, the guy's a scumbag. I don't stand behind him, but I think that Shelley is obviously lying here, right? My God, these people are there is no moral bottom that they're unwilling to go to. There's no moral bottom. Again, this isn't even against me. I don't give a shit about Salvador Alvarez. Why would I care about the guy? I care about these tactics. Just disgusting.
Additionally, there's been 2 other checks that have been written, one to Isaac Anderson and another to Solomon. And
Bro, did you just put your routing and account number on screen for everybody to see just now? Are you serious? Yeah, and I don't even know if this is real, truthfully. I don't put it past these people to lie as we've watched him do and fabricate things. Just make things up, Photoshop things. I don't trust a word out of his mouth. Anyway, these people are just disgusting. One more thing I wanted to mention on this subject. There's somebody named Miriam Anderson, right? And Hemant Mehta talked about this issue and mentioned Miriam Anderson on his article about it. So let me just take a quick glance through this and read Miriam's Facebook post. I don't even feel bad for putting that check up. I mean, I didn't even do that. He did it, right? And it's still public on his Rumble account. It's like that time that I accidentally put Kent Hovind's social security number up in a video because I was showing documents of his charges and stuff, and I had to blur it. I went in and blurred it within minutes. I don't think anybody even saw it, but oh my God, dude. Yeah, you can get some real sensitive info this way. So you got to be careful. Anyway, just read what Hemant Mehta says here. Oh yeah, you know what? I've been testing out this new thing. I have this automated reader. Check this out. See if we can read it with a voice here.
Anderson has already responded to all this. Despite being banned on YouTube, he's repeatedly created sock puppet accounts allowing him to get around the ban, and he said in a recent video that his brother stole Miriam.
His brother stole Miriam? Who the hell is Miriam? Hold on. Okay, another Anderson child speaks out. Here we go. So Miriam is one of the kids, apparently. Dead Domain posted an interview with a third Anderson child. This was Miriam Anderson, the oldest daughter in the family, and the one John brought up earlier because she'd been trying to get away. Wow. This is Miriam. Wow, man. Hey, if you guys want to watch this with me, I will be watching all of this stuff on my Unfiltered channel. I hope to see you guys there. I'm going to be watching Miriam's interview with Dead Domain, this Jonathan Shelley hidden meeting that was recorded secretly, and one of the others with, what's his name? Jonathan Shelley. So keep a lookout for it. So anyway, Miriam, I guess, is a third kid that came out publicly. So let's keep reading what Steven Anderson had to say. Should I read it with my voice or the automated voice? You guys think? Which one? Oh, wow. Most people want to hear it in my voice. Okay, cool. Well, let's do it in my voice then. Anderson's already responded to all of this. Despite being banned on YouTube, he's repeatedly created sock puppet accounts allowing him to get around the ban. And he said in a recent video that his brother stole Miriam, whatever the hell that means. His brother? Steven Anderson has a brother? That's not true. She chose to live with her uncle's family instead of with Anderson. That's where I believe she's still being kept against our will, quote unquote. She is a minor and not old enough to consent, he wrote in the description. Throughout the video, he literally gives away her location and practically encourages people to harass his brother's family. My God, bro, what is wrong with you? This right here is what I'm talking about. This. The tactics are morally depraved. I don't care what side you're on. This is scumbag right here. So this is a quote from Miriam's Facebook. Apparently, she's no longer in South Carolina. In a Facebook post made over the weekend, she also rebutted what Anderson said in his video while adding that she had to end a relationship due to her parents' interference. All right, so this is what the Facebook post says here. Recently, my mom and dad have made public statements regarding my character and behavior while living in South Carolina with my aunt and uncle. Firstly, I met my boyfriend at the opening service of the new church plant in South Carolina. Oh, interesting. So they opened like an NIFB church there? We immediately hit it off, and I got my dad's permission to get coffee with him the following morning before going soul winning together. Soul winning is where they go door knocking like Jehovah's Witnesses. And she got her dad's permission. Okay. She seems like a true believer, right? She's a true believer? She's just disgusted with Steven Anderson's behavior. He talked to my dad multiple times as he'd been listening to my dad's sermons for years. Not only this, but he specifically sought out my dad's permission to date me. In the following weeks, as tensions with my family were growing, he came to visit me multiple times. He lived out of state, so he would visit over the weekend and spend time with me and my family and attend our church with us on Sundays. During our relationship, my uncle supervised us and enforced a curfew. I talked to both my mom and dad about dating him, and they both approved of him wholeheartedly. God, how do you get Steven Anderson's approval? Do you have to talk about hating black people? Like, how many times do you have to say the N-word to get his approval, I wonder? I also sought counsel from my aunt, uncle, and our pastor. Why? You're just dating somebody. Are you shitting me right now? You can't just date somebody? What the hell is happening? Everyone who met him immediately liked and respected him for the godly young man that he is. They ruined our relationship. Godly young man. Right. They ruined our relationship as he can no longer come to see me because I'm not living in South Carolina anymore. It's quite disappointing to see my dad try to pretend that this is about some guy that I was not dating. Furthermore, I'd like to address the claims made about my aunt and uncle. My uncle did not steal me, quote unquote. I came to my uncle desperate for help, and he and his family offered me refuge. So it sounds like his uncle is a true believer too, right? Like part of the whole NIFB thing? In my months of living at their house, I gained nothing but respect for both my aunt and uncle. They, time and time again, proved their wisdom and godliness, and I will forever be grateful for the love they showed me. My uncle also complied with police and immediately told them where I was. God, that's psychotic. That is so messed up of Steven Anderson. Neither he nor my aunt were in my hospital room. I left the hospital completely on my own and did not involve anyone from my family. Yeah, I'm not sure what the story is there. I was not advised by my brother, John, either. It's sad to think that my parents knew that I was safe, doing well, and dating a godly Christian man, and ruined that. God bless everyone who stood for the truth, despite all their bullying. This situation's been difficult for everyone involved, but God has protected me and kept me, and I feel peace knowing I'm in his hands. Please continue praying for my family as we need it more than ever. Happy Sunday. I hope everyone is blessed. Has a blessed day. Blow's picture of me and my boyfriend after church a few weeks after I supposedly rebelled, quote unquote. Well, that's nice. That's nice. I mean, a couple of young Nazis standing in a living room, probably laughing about how much they love Hitler or something would be my guess. I don't know what they're laughing about. With a piano in the background. You think they play the German national anthem on that thing? Jesus, dude. Anyway, just looking through some of these comments. Oh, I'm so proud of you. Stay safe. She was right about something she shared once. You have great style. I want to see the controversial ones. Let's see the controversial ones. Wait, what's this? You are acting Jewish. All three of you, especially you, Mira. Are you shitting me right now? Really? I was joking about them being Nazis. But then I come to the comment section. I see like that. Like, really? You're acting Jewish. What a thing to say. What does that mean exactly? Oh my God. Somebody liked it. 23 replies. What does this mean? It means that they hate Jews. That's what it means. They hate Jews and they think that they're evil. And Miriam is acting like a Jewish person. Oh my God. Traitorous and backstabbing. Oh my God, dude. Look, this stuff should have been handled privately. You're making your dad look bad. If I were him, I wouldn't let you back in my house. Holy shit. You're thinking too much with your emotions. Go back to your father and beg for forgiveness and have this whole thing resolved. Oh my God, dude, this is crazy. Nope, she says. Meanie. Wow. Take that. Says the guy randomly insulting Jewish people. Laughy emoji. Are you Jewish? If not, why get offended? What? Also, do you want people to know your private stuff? Because me insulting Jews is the least of your problems. Wow, dude. What the f*** is happening in this comment thread? Oh my God. What medications have you not taken today? I don't need them. Medications need me. What? Okay. You are a Are you a suppository? Okay, wow, we're getting weird now. Actually, his actions make him look bad. As a Christian, as a Baptist, I'm glad to see many people, including pastors, moving away from toxic man-centered ministries. The thought that you honestly believe 4 adults growing up in strong Christian home would for no reason have to go where these brave young people went to expose what they endured is just proof of your blind allegiance. I'm 62 and never seen or heard of 4 people leaving their home to claim what they claim without cause. It simply doesn't pass the reasonable test. Not to mention, simply watching one of his sermons can tell you Anderson is not a man that can control his spirit. Absolutely agreed. Yes, 100%. Well said, Tracy. And then Daniel says, it was 3 people, and please go suck your thumb in a nursing home. No one was talking to you. Wow, that is a harsh insult. What's he going to tell her to do next? Suck eggs? Mean-spirited guy. I can't see my other reply. Probably got banned by Zuck the Cuck, but just in case, middle finger. Oh my God. Yeah, because Zuckerberg is looking for Daniel Varela's posts on Facebook so that he can ban his posts. Really? This is crazy, man. What? Acting Jewish? As a saved man with a Jewish heritage, I can pretty much guarantee you don't really know any Jews. If you did, you'd understand how much they adore their wives and children. Okay, well, you know, I'm not really a fan of generalizing either way, but that was written by Daniel Varela, the guy that insulted Jews originally. And he's saying, I'm Jewish, so I can say whatever I want about Jews. Brother, get help. And, you know, not for nothing, but since we're talking about like Jew hate and all that stuff, Hitler in World War II wrote the Aryan paragraph, which is like a paragraph of text in the civil law that banned Jews from being a part of government, doing civil service to any degree, maintaining parks or working at the DMV or whatever, you know, whatever, any government position. It banned them from being in government. And the church, the Protestant church, adopted the Aryan paragraph into their church rules. So it became anybody that's non-Aryan is now not allowed to be a minister. They're not allowed to be higher up leaders or anything in the church. And of course it devolved from there. But the point is, 1 drop of Jewish blood is what it took. If you had, I believe, 1 grandparent that was Jewish, you were considered Jewish. And the reason is because they believed that Jews were inherently evil in their hearts. Like, it doesn't matter how nice you seem on the surface. You can't help it. You're a bad person in your heart. That's how they viewed him. So this guy in the German government would never survive. He would have been one of the first to go to the chambers as a saved man with a Jewish heritage. If you have a Jewish heritage, then you're SOL. That's it. Anyway, my God, these people really need help. Oh my God, look, Nick Fuentes, you are Jewish. He's a full-blown, self-avowed Nazi. He talks about being a Nazi. He likes being a Nazi, loves Hitler, loves swastikas. Oh my God, these comments are crazy. Daniel, are you right-handed or left-handed or right hand left-handed? I don't know what the hell that means. Tracy says to Daniel, I'm a Christian in faith, Portuguese on my father's side. My mother's father was Jewish and mother was German. Mother's father was Jewish. So your grandfather on your mom's side's Jewish and your mom was German. So Jewish grandfather, German grandfather, or grandmother then, I guess? Pretty much a hybrid. You pretty much just put a ribbon around everything that's wrong with the NIFB and your fearless leader. Congrats. Wow, man. That is nuts. For real. These people are broken. They are broken. Tell me what you think in the comments. Damn, this video is no longer available because the YouTube account associated with the video has been terminated. That sucks. Wonder what the video was. This is why I always download my clips. owenmorgan.com/clips if you want access to them. I'm not selling anything. You can just go there. I maintain a Dropbox. Next up, Pastor Joel Webbon tells a black man that he wouldn't trust a black doctor. To his face. This guy's gonna say it to the wrong person one day.
We'll be right back. Don't forget to check out my Patreon. Also, take a look at my website, owenmorgan.com. I'm selling my book, Understanding Jehovah's Witnesses, 400 pages, and my second book, 100 Questions for Jehovah's Witnesses, which is about 80 pages. And you can find them both there on the website. Audio form, ebook form, whatever. It's about my experiences within the religion and the history of the religion generally.
This is Joel Webbon. He's a self-affirmed Christian nationalist. So he believes that far-right Christian extremists should be the only ones in power, and in fact, the only ones in the country. If you are not a Christian, you do not belong here, and you'll be deported, or you'll put in a concentration camp or something. Anyway, he's insane. I've covered him a few times, but listen to what he said recently.
Moved to Texas, I needed to get a new cardiologist. And so my wife, she does a lot of this for me because before we had kids, she was an RN, and she
okay, fair enough.
knows a lot more than I do. And I let her read those books. She read some medical
Believe it or
books.
not.
Yeah.
He's not smiling here. This is real. I mean, I heard a guy chuckle in the background a second ago. This is real. Okay, he doesn't want women learning or being educated or whatever, and certainly not voting. I'm 100% serious.
And so she's doing the research and looking at these things, and she shows me two doctors, both of this within the same practice, same company, hospital, and saying, do you like one over the other? And one was a young white dude, and one was a young black dude. And I said, I prefer the young white dude, and this is why. The reason why is not because I'm white, but because we currently live in a historical moment in the West, and particularly in these United States, where I know that both of these guys could be perfectly qualified. But I also know that if there's a chance that one of them was not qualified and was given a free pass, it'd be the black guy. I know that young white guy, there's no way he got a free pass.
Really? No way he got a free pass, you don't think? You haven't ever heard of any white guy having parents that paid for somebody to take the LSAT for them or whatever other medical examinations? You haven't heard of anybody paying somebody to take tests for them? How do you think Donald Trump got through college? Yes, he got through college. A degree in economics from Wharton School of Finance or some other thing. How do you think he made it through college, really? You don't think he studied and took the tests, right? Of course he didn't. No, people don't get there through free passes usually. It's really hard to build your own practice. Oh, no, wait a minute. I'm sorry. He said it's the same practice, just two different doctors at the same practice. You don't get into a practice that you co-own with somebody by being a doctor, by being somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about, doesn't know what they're doing. They were just pushed through or whatever. That's not how it works. And for the record, he's talking about affirmative action. First of all, that doesn't exist anymore. That was nullified by the courts. But second, affirmative action only ever required companies to lean toward demographic equivalents, basically. So if there are like 15% black people in your town, in your region, and 80% white, and then, 5% of different ethnicities, and you get 2 resumes across your desk, both of them are equally as qualified. Both of them know what they're doing and are just as capable as each other. You should favor equalizing the ratios. So if you have 18% black people in your company, but only 15% in the town, then you should hire the white guy to make the percentages more equal. That's what affirmative action was. Again, doesn't exist anymore. It's pointless. But he seems to think that you can't be black and qualified. I mean, I hear this from Charlie Kirk, too. These people know full well that they are completely full of it seems to me. They're just coming up with an excuse to be racist. Straight up racist. So anyway, he says it to a black guy's face.
That looks bad, Joe. I think that is bad. So
I don't think so, but go ahead.
Well, no. Tell us why you don't think so.
DEI was not my idea, Corey. Wicked people.
Oh my God, please. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, like departments or whatever. Really?
Marxist people, instituted DEI, and it set our country back in race relations by about 80 years.
How?
I put the blame squarely at the feet of the left, and I will not take responsibility. And
that doesn't surprise me.
And what I said in that clip, none of that is racist. And if that is racist, then racism is a word completely depleted of all its meaning, all its power.
I gotta wonder, what does he think racism is exactly? The way that I read it, racism is prejudice against somebody based on their race, right? He is prejudging. He has prejudice against the black doctor because he's prejudging that he's underqualified for the job that he has because he is black and no other reason, because he's black. That seems pretty clear to me. I don't know how it gets clearer.
And if that's what racism is, then I really don't care if people think I'm a racist.
Why do you think, though?
So I'm wondering, why does he have rosy cheeks is my question. He's always got these rosy cheeks. Anyway, yeah, that's the clip. This guy is a colossal scumbag. That's not even like the first or last time that he said it, that he's gone down this path. He is a perfect example of a racist person. Listen to this one. This one is from early July 2024.
Like, I walk around my neighborhood, and it's not that there are different shades of, white and brown. Who cares?
Okay.
No, it's like full straight up Hindu garb at our neighborhood swimming pool that my daughter is asking. I'm trying to explain. She's like,
So people have different cultures, different experiences, and you're unhappy that your daughter is exposed to diverse situations with differences of like opinion and differences of everything else, difference of culture and all that? You're upset by that? What? As Alex Baranowski says, free pass? Being white is a free pass. Yeah, you're right. Statistically speaking, for this type of reason, if no other, white people have the advantage. And that's what affirmative action set out to correct, trying to make it a more level playing field. But he doesn't want that. He wants to find some way to demonize the black community and pretend that they're getting some kind of unfair advantage. He is such a joke of a human being.
And I don't even know what country I'm in my own neighborhood. I don't know where I am.
Because you see one Hindu person? How do you know they're Hindu? You mean Indian, like Indian garb? What is Hindu garb? Does he even know what that looks like? Hindu is the religion that is predominant in India, right? The religion. But Indians wear common clothes. So is he complaining about Hindu religious clothing, or is he complaining about just an Indian being in his neighborhood? I think the rosy cheeks are a symptom of rosacea, long-term inflammatory skin condition, causes reddened skin and a rash, usually on the nose and cheeks. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you were going to tell me something like really hilarious, but no. Okay, that's fair. He just doesn't like people that are not white in his neighborhood. And if you don't believe that, give it a second.
I don't know where I am. It's, the number of, when we go on a family walk, the number of Pakistani, Hindu, all these different, not just ethnicities, but religions with visible religious.
Okay, so you catch that? He was naming ethnicities and then realized that he was naming ethnicities and tried to backtrack and say, I'm not just talking about ethnicities. Well, what are you talking about then? No, I'm talking about religion. What a joke of a human being, really.
Outfits on. And, the same thing, like when we go to Costco, I'm like, where am I? And so like
You're in a Costco?
it's rare. Like we'll go on a family walk and every now and then we'll pass by, a white family that's a man and a woman and has more than one kid.
That's rare? Are you kidding me? I live in New York City. I see that constantly. That's nearly all I see in New York City. Now, I see a bunch of other types of people. I see a lot of Sikhs. They have the headgear, See a lot of Muslims. Every now and then I see one with like a hijab that covers her whole face. I think it's called a niqab, maybe. People of all different backgrounds and stripes and experiences. I don't understand. How is that hurting my kid? You know what? I didn't even explain that stuff to my kid. She saw somebody with the traditional hat and she's like, wow, that's cool. Anybody at school seen that before? Gets information from them. You don't have to explain anything about this to your kid. They'll figure it out. But no, he feels threatened by this diverse presence in his neighborhood. Oh my God, bro.
Has more than one kid. And every time I see it, I'm like, I don't want to be this way. But I feel like this like small sense of relief. Like I see you.
I don't want to be this way. What way? Racist? Is that what he's saying? Then don't be racist. See how easy that is?
I'm glad you're one of my neighbors. Because at the end of the day, again, it's not about whiteness. But at the end of the day, if things get rough, I don't know if my Hindu neighbor is going to fight to save the lives of my children.
Why would your Hindu neighbor have to fight to save the lives of your children? What? Would you fight for their kids, I wonder? Of course not. Because he's racist. This is a very clear example of him being racist, right? I don't know how it gets any clearer than that. Just to put it on record, if you are unfamiliar with him, let me just lay down a couple of his kind of beliefs, his ideals or whatever.
My hometown and my neighborhood, my state is being flooded with non-citizens, and then even those who are citizens, first-generation immigrants who have attained citizenship, which aren't many, but those who have.
There aren't many? What is he talking about? There are not many people become citizens in the U.S.? What? People become citizens every day. Also, so he's saying that he thinks that all immigrants are shifty, lying, taking advantage of the system, that type of thing.
Citizenship, which aren't many, but those who have are still.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, where does he live anyway? Is he in Texas or something? I think maybe it's in Texas.
Aren't many, but those who have are still worshiping false gods. They're not American in any sense of our heritage. And primarily, I'm talking about that being a problem as it pertains to religion.
He's not talking about, I'm telling you guys, it's not about race, not about race. How many times can I say it's not about race? I swear it's not about race. Thou doth protest too much. It's very clearly about race, right? Every time he's complained about somebody being dressed differently, it was about race, except for the Hindu person, I guess. Talking about Pakistanians and stuff or whatever he said.
They worship other gods. They are Hindu. They are Muslim. They are Jews. They are not Christians.
Holy shit, dude. Oh my God. Well, what about Mexicans? They're Christian, predominantly. Mexicans are very, very Catholic, like disproportionately Catholic. I get he doesn't care about that, isn't thinking about that. No, he's finding justifications for his racism is what he's doing. And, in his heart, I think he knows that he's being racist. Check this one out. This should lay down his general beliefs for you if you're unfamiliar.
We are going to behave as a Christian people. And what does that mean? It means we're going to ban pornography. It means we are going to ban no-fault divorce.
This is coming from the crowd of free speech warriors, right? And no cancel culture.
It means we are going to utterly abolish abortion, including in vitro, including the hormonal birth control pill. Every single one of its.
Holy Christ, dude. The hormonal birth control pill is not abortion. Where is he getting this? I mean, is he coming after condoms next? I don't understand. Like the Plan B pill is not an abortion pill. Most people don't realize that. It's not an abortion. The pill will not work if you're already pregnant.
Forms, not just the Planned Parenthood clinic in Texas, but we're going to go down to the local CVS and we're going to start knocking those pills off the shelf. No more human sacrifice.
Okay, that's not happening. First of all, human sacrifice. And second, they keep those things behind the counter because of heads like you.
So a civil magistrate can do that.
Yeah.
He can and should do that.
So he's laid out a plan for how he wants to make this happen. Civil magistrate, a local judge, basically. That's insane. He is trying to force his religious beliefs and his racism on society. Here's another example of who this guy is, if you're unfamiliar. This one is from early May 2024. Wow, it's really recent.
We're degenerates. We're not even close to we're degenerates. The Constitution is not it's not suited for governing degenerates.
No, that is exactly what it's suited for. That is why it was written, was to govern degenerates. It was written to govern anybody and everybody, because there's so many people of different backgrounds and experiences and lifestyles and everything here. He is so full of every word out of his mouth is garbage.
For governing degenerates, and I'm curious your thoughts on this, if you agree, disagree.
Whoever he's talking to, of course, agrees with him.
But I think for our population that is degraded morally and culturally, and religiously, as far as we have, you need power. Men must be governed. You need.
Why is he laughing at that? That's a weird thing to say.
You need a Caesar type,
When he says Caesar type, he means a Hitler type. They were effectively the same. They did the exact same things. But he doesn't feel comfortable coming out and saying Hitler yet.
Now, if you're asking me my preference, that would probably be my preference, would be a constitutional republic. But I think the conditions for that is a moral people. So I think you.
No, it is literally not that. The conditions for this type of government are anybody and everybody from any background. That is why it was written. Oh my God, dude.
You can work towards that in the future, but I don't think constitutioning even harder is going to get us out of our current.
No, that's the thing. It is. Constitutioning harder will get us out of this situation. He is trying to reverse the things that the Constitution has established. He's trying to erase the First Amendment. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, the right of the people to peaceably assemble, so on and so forth. He's trying to erase that. He's coming at that. You know why? Because the First Amendment contradicts the First Commandment. That's why.
Mess. I don't see us getting out of this apart from things getting worse and worse, and then eventually like a Caesar type rising through the ranks.
When he says Caesar, again, he means like a Hitler type. They did the same. He just isn't comfortable saying Hitler.
Rising through the ranks, a populist, figure in the people.
Populist. He's referring to a Hitler right now. Seriously. Hitler was known for populism.
Figure in the people, the political will of the people, the people are desperate and they're like, yes, do it. So-and-so. And then so-and-so, Constitution be damned, just rules with an iron fist.
Why is he laughing?
And like a Cromwell type. And then
just say Hitler. Everyone knows who you're talking about.
And then you hopefully don't get his son. Maybe then you're able, and then you maybe it's just a one generation, one guy kind of thing.
Hopefully.
And then you have to move back to, aristocracy or some other form.
Oh my God, dude. Move back to aristocracy. He wants an aristocracy where there are like a few elites at the very top of society that control everything, the economy and all of it. What's wrong with him? How was he raised? What did his parents believe? What did they tell him when he was a kid that made him come to these conclusions? This is wild. Oh my God, this guy. And he's got like terrible shoes too, on top of all of it. And no tie. Why dress up if you're not going to wear a tie? Anyway, let me know what you think about it in the comments. This guy is a colossal scumbag, just disgusting human being. Really.
That's all I've got for you. If you like what I do and you want to see me continue to do it, don't forget to check me out on Patreon. And take a look at my YouTube channels. Owen Morgan, where I talk about religious issues. Telltale Fireside Chat, where I talk about politics. Telltale Unfiltered, where I do long-form breakdowns of stuff like this. And take a look at my website, owenmorgan.com. I'm selling my book, Understanding Jehovah's Witnesses, 400 pages, and my second book, 100 Questions for Jehovah's Witnesses, which is about 80 pages. And you can find them both there on the website. Audio form, ebook form, whatever. It's about my experiences within the religion and the history of the religion generally. Okay, thanks for watching, guys.